Hello and welcome to Dead Good Gaming, the show where we analyse different video games to find the best level for you to survive in a zombie apocalypse. Today's level is Kokiri Forest and the Lost Woods, Link's hometown from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. We'll be analysing the area in the childhood timeline because adulthood is wank. Let's begin. The reason the Kokiri never grow up is because they don't have anything to eat. The only actual food we could find in the area is this small bowl of questionable fruit in Link's starting house. And it's at such a low resolution, I'm not even sure exactly what it is. There are several creatures and objects that sound like they should be edible, but perhaps not the most appetizing. Deku scrubs frequently drop its nuts when harassed. Though usually used as weapons and not the nicest looking of foods, it could be an option. Deku bubbas with their fibrous necks and solid fleshy heads could also be a source of nutrition. Just make sure you eat it before it eats you. For those wanting a simpler diet that doesn't involve fighting your food, then you might want to think about picking up a hoe. Sorry, a gardening hoe. And a rake and other farming tools that can also be found in Link's house. It's such a fertile place where trees can flourish into sentient beings, the ground must be rich enough to grow crops. Though maybe if a carrot starts a philosophical rambling about rocks and gods and tries to talk itself out of being eaten, then maybe growing food isn't such a good idea. Lastly, if you're super desperate, there are various other creatures inside the Great Deku Tree, like the Skulltulas, Goma Lava, and Goma herself, if you've got the Deku nuts for it.
Holy shit.
As it is a starting tutorial area, Kokiri Forest and the surrounding areas are home to only a few minor medical items in the form of hearts. There are two types of hearts, the ones that clearly belong to someone else, and ones you find inside various enemies and objects in the level. Both are capable at healing minor injuries, but can be stacked to fix bigger wounds. The shop also sells these hearts, but with society gone, you can just grab it off the shelf along with any others in storage. Though there are a limited number of hearts in the level, the plants will grow back to allow you to cut them down once more. Though, if you're collecting hearts from plants, then I think there is something seriously wrong with the flora here.
You fucking freak!
The hearts that appear in breakable objects also have a habit of vanishing not long after you found them, putting a stop to any hoarding plans you might have had. For those willing to venture far enough into the Lost Forest, a fairy shrine can be found to heal all wounds. Just walk through the fountain and be engulfed by their magical healing powers. Very convenient if it were easier to reach, kinda makes you wonder why these buggers don't do anything.
Hey!
You can bottle the fairies if you're a big enough dick and release it when you are seriously injured, but I could not advocate such cruel imprisonment. On the standard of living, there are enough beds to comfort a family or group of friends, and basic tools and objects for a low-key rural lifestyle. It's also a subjectively pleasant location if you can put up with all the floaty stuff flying around in your face. Kokiri Forest is a fairly secure location, with only two main entrances and a pretty high Z-grade 3 wall surrounding the perimeter. The main door that leads to Hyrule Field is the main issue and must be blocked off, as this is likely where the biggest hordes will approach from. The second door leads to the Lost Woods, a maze-like labyrinth so complicated it's unlikely many zombies will actually make their way through it. There will just be lots of zombies walking around in circles forever, listening to that jaunty tune. Despite this illusion of safety, it's still a good idea to put some kind of barricade up that can also be removed when you need to evacuate the area. If zombies were to penetrate the little green village, these woods would make a great escape route. If you memorize the route and are careful not to run into any lost zombies asking for directions, you can make your way to connecting regions like Goron City and Lake Hylia. just hope there aren't any zombies there either. Another option is to enter the safe room. This little tunnel leads to a safe little sanctuary with a mega death ball crushing everything in its path. If you are able to avoid being hit, not only are you in a place with a single tiny defendable entrance, but also a very effective security feature that will squash any unsuspecting zombies and scavengers who blindly chase after you. You'll have to store some supplies here, and if the main area is swarmed with the undead, lessen the numbers by attracting them to your position with loud noises.
Loud noises!
This is one of the few instances where you'll want the zombies to know where you are. Lastly, there is a third door from Kokiri Forest, but it leads to a giant dead tree. I'm not sure if plant life can also turn into zombies, but if they can have hearts and teeth, then I think anything goes in this place. Has anyone noticed that Link has a humongous axe and meat cleaver in his house? It's almost as big as he is. What the hell does he use these for? The answer is to fight off hordes of the living impaired. Not only that, but he also has those gardening tools that are sharp and pointy enough to poke out a few brains. Rocks, a firm favourite, makes another appearance, though these have the added benefit of paying you when you smash them to pieces. The panic room is also home to the Kokiri sword, which you can borrow to slice up zombies at close range. And when I say close, I mean very close. This thing is like 12 inches. It's more like a dagger than a sword, but will prove useful in various situations. If you want something with a little longer reach, you could head to the shop to take the arrows on display. Though there isn't a bow to be found anywhere in the area, you could construct a spear by connecting the arrows to a Deku stick. If you're feeling adventurous and want to channel your inner Bart Simpson, you could venture into the Great Deku Tree and retrieve the slingshot. Though not a particularly deadly weapon, it does provide the opportunity to sling your nuts into the faces of the irritated undead. Finally, there is the Deku Shield, which can provide basic defense and be used as a bludgeon. Though it is made of wood, and if there's one thing we've learned from this place, it's not to trust the wood. Unfortunately, not even Navi would advise us to make camp here. With poor consumables and lacking weaponry, your hold would neither be enjoyable or safe. Maybe it's best to travel through the Lost Woods into one of the other realms in Ocarina of Time. Thanks for joining us on Dead Good Gaming, and join us next time where we analyse other levels from your favourite video games to find the best zombie safe house. Always remember, stay safe, stay strong, stay dead good.